Well, there was a lot to examine over a couple of hours of talk. He most certainly is apologizing for his lies and misconduct, but expressing confidence despite charges that carry 30 years in a federal prison upon conviction. He says that he will, in fact, keep his freedom. The message was for everyone, but some experts say it's especially for potential jurors. Most of what he said was personal, what he hears and feels about trouble in Detroit, for instance.
And the message is the same coming out of our city. And it's always a message of defeat, hopelessness, lack of faith, and it hurts.
But could Kilpatrick's talk with black journalists last night be a clever way of talking to a jury, something he'd have to do under oath at trial? 7 Action News legal analyst Tom Cranmer says,
arguably what he's doing, among other things, is kind of planting some seeds among the audience who might actually be there to judge him at a later point in time, the jury. And if in fact it turns out that he doesn't decide to take the witness stand and doesn't testify in his own behalf, then perhaps what he is thinking about doing is sending that message early.
Kilpatrick's attorney told 7 Action News the former mayor has a right to talk and that he wouldn't try to stop it. Cranmer says there's good reason for that.
It's the kind of thing that arguably lawyers can't do, and they're ethically prohibited from doing in terms of trying to reach out to potential jurors and influence them in advance of the trial. But the rules are a little bit different with regard to private parties and litigants, and again, that may have been part of the strategy.
But could the strategy backfire and hurt Kilpatrick with jurors or the trial instead of help him?
Well, it definitely could backfire. If he does decide to take the witness stand and there are things that he said during the course of the interview and there are inconsistencies in terms of what he had to say versus what he testifies to at the time of trial, that's something I'm sure the prosecutors would want to point to and bring to the jurors' attention.
Well, if he made any mistakes last night, they weren't obvious, say observers, and we may never know if Kilpatrick's open microphone was strategy or more theater from Detroit's charismatic ex-mayor. Bill Proctor, 7 Action News.